Welcome to Xtra presented by VDG Sports. I am your host, Vince Douglas Gregory. No filter. Very censored. Everything's right in the universe. I am singing, I am dancing, I am making my chest pop inside the G ride. That is my happy place. Yay, happy place is back. Not with a vengeance, but it's back. And that leads me down multiple different paths we can go. But there's not enough time that's passed by, and we still protect the guilty in the game. Even though I do make mistakes, I do make missteps. They're not the same. They're not the same. Noob, thank you for mistakenly giving me an opportunity and a chance. Hopefully you become one of us, and that is a reg. Regs, we back at it again. Regs, we do what we do. Regs, this feels like every single day, but it's not every single day. It just feels that way because we got this special, unique bond. We don't know what to call it. We know it's special. We know how it feels. We know how it sounds. Someday in a distant future, when some big brain individual come up with what to call it, that's what it's going to be. The rest of us will retroactively say that's what it always been. Fight us if you don't believe. Or press that I believe button. Or press that I believe button. Sharing is caring, but you shouldn't share everything. Unless that's what you do. No judge zone. No judge zone. I make mistakes and I make missteps. A mistake, more or less, is doing something that I thought was correct and it just ends up being right. It ends up being an issue. A misstep is the process of doing something and just not understanding the necessary, not understanding it to its fullest extent, or leaving something out, or misremembering, or just not being aware of everything, and it comes up and there's something within the process, or there's just something that you don't account for. And then it surprises you. That is a misstep. A misstep is not a mistake. The two are not the same. And hopefully that was enough. And hopefully, I really hope that was enough to get the point across. If not, I suggest you reach out virtually, that is, and let me know, or raise your hand and hopefully somebody will help you, or just turn to the person beside you and say, can you explain in greater details what a mistake and what a misstep is? Because the two are not the same. The two are not alike. They are different. And I've made both. I'm not afraid to say I've made some mistakes, and I definitely make missteps a lot. But the missteps don't necessarily turn into a mistake, and the misstep doesn't necessarily make the end game harder or easy. The misstep is having a lack of awareness or a lack of knowledge that needed to be, or when I was structuring or calculating or trying to figure out what it need to be figured out. So when I'm up late, I should say, when I'm up late at night, off in a corner, pondering and wondering about the issue that's on my mind, sometimes I can leave out some things because it's the night owl. And I've explained how I am when I'm a night owl. And that you shouldn't have to go too far back for the historical documents on that. You should not have to go too far back with the historical documents on that. I'm not going to even bother giving you the Vince's note either, because it's just that close. It is just that close. So I can make missteps. Mistakes is a different ball game. Mistake isn't necessarily holding or taking the L, although it could be and it can be. A mistake is more so, for me, I make, it is because I, with my information that was privy to me, or the information that I had, the decision making came up wrong. And I can't blame intuition. I can't blame gut feeling, because intuition and gut feeling never, ever, ever led me to making a mistake. That is 100% true. If I listen to my intuition and gut feeling, it always leads me in the correct direction. How bird-like voice. However, it wasn't until recently where I figured that out. And it wasn't recent until I started leaning on and listening to my intuition and gut feeling more, because I was always calculating out. I was always thinking things through, and I was always processing the processes. And it was leading me more often than not in the right direction, so to speak. But there was some, you got it, you guessed it, mistakes. And that's not to say that mistakes aren't warranted or welcome, because if you're not making a mistake, it'd be hard for you to learn, or unless you are one of those geniuses, unless you are one of those big brain peeps that don't need to make mistakes to learn, that you can learn the first couple of times, or you got that photographic memory that you just see and you take a picture and you snap and you all good. But okay, you keep that. I need my street smarts too. You can keep that. I need my street smarts too. What's the good of taking a picture with your mind if your camera gonna get broken? What's the good? What's the good? What's the good of that? You can take a picture with your mind, but your camera gonna get broken. So I'd rather be more balanced. I'd rather lean on the hundo intuition and gut feeling. Not to say that I don't relapse sometime. And hold up, it ain't the relapse you think. It's the relapse going back and leaning more or less or more so on rational thinking, or thinking things to its logical conclusion, or thinking things in multiple different directions and being prepared for everything. And if you're prepared for everything, you basically ain't prepared for nothing, because there's no way you can prepare for everything. You can think you can, but there's going to be gaps in the matrix. There's going to be holes in the system. You can only be prepared for what you assume, or for what you think is going to take place, or what could happen. But then you're just chasing your tail. But then you're just running around in circles and chasing the thing that's behind you. But it's you. It's you. You don't have to chase. You don't even have to run. You just got to trust. You just have to trust your instincts. You have to trust that you've given yourself enough information. You've given yourself enough information for it to process it immediately, and you just go with that feeling, because that's how I look at it as. It's not me actively processing, but it's me innately processing. It's me leaning more so on feel. It's me leaning more so on I done the work. I got all the information that I need, and my senses will provide the rest. And so that's what I lean on. And it's not to say that I do that all the time, because I ask for some chaos. I ask for some, epic journeys. And if I'm not getting the chaos, if I'm not getting the epic journeys, I'm not making mistakes. Therefore, I'm not learning. So I can't really say that leaning on or doing intuition and gut feeling all the time that is going to allow me to grow personally. That I can't really see. It may or may not. I haven't given it any thought. Maybe I should. My next night that I am trying to figure out what's going to keep me up tonight, I'll just put that on my list. What's going to keep me up tonight? Do I need to lean on? Do I need to think more so? Because when I'm thinking, I will be able to learn, because I am making mistakes and I'm figuring out what and what not to do from the mistakes. And if I am just utilizing intuition and gut feeling all the time, and they are 100 and they never make any mistakes, am I truly growing personally? Am I truly doing personal growth? And personal growth is extremely important to me. Personal growth is something that I value a lot, next to communication and next to a few other things that we'll bring up later on at a later date. But I'm not going to say rain check, because that check may bounce. And I don't know where you're coming from, whether it's the past or the present or the future. So that would be hard to determine, because all can't be true at the same time, if you know what I mean. So when I'm staying up late or needing to check something off the list of what's going to keep me up at night, it's on the list. Do I need to use my thinking brain to make mistakes so I can learn? Or can I learn by being 100% right all the time? Because I am 100% all the time using my intuition and gut feeling. It ain't never let me down. They ain't never led me astray. They ain't never put me in a position where I made mistakes or I lost. And if I'm not losing, if I'm not making mistakes, how am I learning? I know what you thinking. Don't you just want to win all the time? 'Cause all I do is win, 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 win. If I would say something like that, but first I need to just pause and give a few seconds and just let that just marinate within your system. And while it's marinating within your system, I'm just gonna say this. Bird-like voice. But yeah, I can't win all the time. And I wouldn't even lie. Or I wouldn't even attempt to lie and say I win all the time, because that's just nonsense. And I try not to spew nonsense unless it's calculated nonsense, or it's nonsense to get you to thinking, or if it's nonsense to get a point across, or if it's nonsense that has a meaning behind it, or if it's nonsense with a hidden meaning, or it's nonsense on top of the nonsense on top of the nonsense that becomes sense. I give in many options. You pick, you choose. I'm just the narrator. Thank you for listening. Be sure to check out the new and improved website, XtraVDGsports.com, XtraVDGsports.com. There's a YouTube. There's 2 YouTubes. You want to catch this on YouTube? Guess what? It is Xtra VDG. That is the handle of the YouTube. But if you want everything else in sports and stuff like that, VDG Sports. Like, subscribe, share, basically do whatever it is you do there. Comment if you must, comment if you may. It ain't all the same, but it is all the same. Or not in the same place, that is. Not in the same place. You're welcome to all the ones that was complaining about they need to be separate. I'm not here for this. I'm not here for this. Well, see, I don't know everything. I had to hold the L on that, and I'm holding the L, and the L mean learn. I learned that day. Thank you. Thank you. And for that, Regs, I'm just going to give you this. Peace out.